And welcome everyone to episode 4 of Invincible, the Spoilercast. I got that sentence completely the wrong way around, but I don't care. As always, you can follow me on Twitter, Mitch692, and I'm once again joined by Sean.
Hello, you can just join me right here every week. My soothe sensory voice right here.
Indeed. All right, so episode 4 of Invincible.
I love it.
I really enjoy it.
Yeah.
The way they're going about jumping all over the place is starting to worry me slightly.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to skip straight to the end. So, spoilers, you haven't seen episode 4. That reveal doesn't happen until a lot later on.
Yeah.
That is way down the road. I'm just like, what are you doing? I don't understand.
Yeah. I have a similar feeling. I enjoyed it. I really liked it. I'm not too invested into comics, but for everybody that I've talked to that has, they're saying the same exact thing. It's like, you like with shows like this, you have to at least assume that they have to kind of rearrange things to fit the show more structured.
It's not necessarily the rearranging isn't necessarily an issue for me. It's the fact that there's no fluff.
Yeah,
it's all here's this beat that leads into that beat, it leads into this beat. It's all very like 20-minute cartoon, bang, 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 bang. It's just like, no, I want some of the fluff. I want like the data. Like it was nice that we got a bit of Mark and Amber in this. Yeah. And it's like more of that. This show needs that. That's what makes Invincible good. Is the in between bits as well. It's the character that makes the relationship. Right.
It kind of worries me in a way that like how long do they think the show is going to last? If that's how, like, if they're jumping to all these points like right away, how long in their mind do they think this show is going to last? You know, because
well, it's just the thing. It's like obviously that rearranging it, you could probably go on for as long. I imagine you could probably get like a good 4 seasons out of it, but that's literally it.
It also like the good thing about like when you adapt stuff like this to like a TV or movie format is like the fluff is good because like the padding you want to add stuff that's new to like to the material that isn't in the actual source material.
Which they do the bit at least as far as I'm aware in the first compendium. You know, I might have completely forgotten it. I'm not sure. That whole bit in the desert with the mummy is not in that first bit. That is completely new to me.
Is Robot Man a complete new creation?
No, like Robot Man's he's a key part at the start.
Okay.
Or at least I don't know. I can't say for what happens in like the back 2/3 of this entire run, but at least for the main part, he's integral to everything.
I did like the Martian sequence and like when it was leading up to like getting to Mars. I love the sandwich bit. You know, like
I'm so happy the sandwich made it in.
I'm sure like Kirkman is like I have to. There's certain like key sequences I have to get in this show. You know, at least and like, I mean, like again, like haven't read the source material in depth, but the show has made me go back and read it, and like I've seen that, and I'm like, oh yeah, I recognize that. It's pretty, you know.
I say it's weird, like see how they've done this bit because you know the reason he goes on that mission in the book is because his dad's trapped in a different dimension with those aliens that age quickly.
Yeah,
like that's where that happens, and that's why he goes. And so in this, they had that completely new conversation with Cecil and Nolan. It's just like I don't want to go. Like, I'm trying to keep up an act here. Like I got to stay down here.
How onto the character Cecil? Like how messed up was that when they brought the new Guardians to their headquarters?
What, they put the bit of blood in the wall?
Yeah, he's like, I'm just gonna leave this here to remind you, and then when you're up to it, you can clean it off the wall. But like it's like I look at him and it's like he's like Nick Fury up to like 11 notch 11. You know, like he's. I got a good chuckle out of that for some reason.
I can't remember if that bit's in the book or not. I want to say it is, but I'm not 100% sure. A lot of this is going to be me being like, it's not in the book. The book did it this way. The book did it that way. You know?
But I mean, like you can't help it but to compare it to. Like,
no, I think when it's trying to do it, how it's doing it, it's just like Again, the rearranging bit I'm fine with. I think the robot man bit at the end was maybe a bit too early because you don't even know who he is in this. Like,
I was going to ask you that question.
Time doing whatsoever, but
I was going to 100% ask you about that because, like, that I don't think I understood what that was, and I
don't think you meant to because that it's literally one for one the reveal. That's in the books. That's virtually exactly how it happens. It's framed slightly differently. That's exactly how it happens. And
I'm just
going around it are completely different as well. There's more of a lead-in with what's happening everywhere else that goes well with it. But yeah, it's.
And what I did like is like it's being consistent at least animation wise. Like it's all pretty consistent.
Yeah, there's no
first 3 episodes.
There's no like dips in like there's weird little bits where the budget's obviously gone around. Like it's more to do with the flying than anything, and like sometimes the walking looks a bit funky. But apart from that, like it's a consistent thing. There's no major bits and then little bits. It's all
You could tell that they actually invested money in it, and like
it's got some
rightfully so.
I just hope I think for this season at least. The impression I get is that they're trying to get through as many beats as possible in case they don't get a season 2. I'm not sure if it's been renewed second season or what, but that's kind of what
so weird if it didn't. It'd be so weird if it didn't because it's like it obviously that Amazon knows that this is kind of a hit, like they would. But Amazon's weird. They are just like Netflix, I think. I don't know how they operate in the inside, but like, I don't know. I
don't feel like they're gonna just outright cancel it, but
it's so cheap to make. I'm sure. Like, I don't know why they wouldn't. As long as the viewers are there, I would assume that they would want to keep it around.
I'd say every night, last week everyone I saw was talking about it, and then this week, you get up and people are talking about it again. It's like cool. I had people asking when it was out because it wasn't out at the same time as last week. And it's like I don't know. I didn't chance to watch it.
I didn't get the memo from the higher ups. I don't know what's.
It was just weird because like last week it dropped to like 7 p.m. Central. And then this week, like at that time, people were going, "Where is it?" It's like it's out. Yeah, it's like I don't know. I haven't looked.
Maybe because the premiere, they probably bumped it up. To.
So I think that's how
there was 3 episodes.
I think like Amazon, the first drop bumps it out early, and then the rest
go. Because they usually drop 3 episodes of the first season of anything.
So it gives people time to watch it and all that.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Interesting to see how this all plays out. I don't know. I think it's done a lot. I haven't felt this way about an animated show in a long time. I got something to look forward to on Fridays now. So besides, I got 2 shows that I can, consistently think there's at least 2 hours of my life that's going to be nice and quiet, and
I'd say like it is still really strong. I think. Part of me is like, why did I start reading this before I watched it? Because I think reading it's clearly affecting how I'm looking at this thing. And it's kind of
I don't know.
It's still really strong.
Yeah, I don't know. I look at that as like Invincible was not on many people's radar before the show even existed. It was kind of
it very much had a cult following behind it.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like. And like I think once that people like the people involved in like the shows, like then you get more interested into actually reading it. But like I don't know, I don't have a problem with reading the source material side by side with watching the show because it's so different and like it's a little confusing sometimes. But it's like I always chalk it up to be like like it's like what they did with The Walking Dead. Like they mixed it up a bit, and reading the material is not guaranteed that you'll know exactly what's going to happen in the show.
Yeah.
But I look at it as a positive. If anything, it's like
it's nice not knowing exactly what's going to come up next, and it could literally just be anything. Like I'm waiting for 2 things, and I have no idea when they're going to crop up.
I'll be honest with you. I'm so surprised that nobody's put out videos about comparing the 2. like I haven't seen anything.
Yeah, yeah. For the most part, it's literally going to be, well, there's a lot of fluff here. There's a lot of relationship and dynamic building here, and then there's nothing.
Yeah. I don't know. I think that there's, I don't know. It's funny. I like it.
I definitely really enjoy it, and the whole Mars bit was done really well. The whole the sequence. I just love that concept and that nice little reveal.
Do you think that they'll actually connect, like, the Guardian that got killed was a Martian, correct? You think they'll ever like make any connections to that, or you think the Martian thing is like just like a one and done, like the
what, like, the Martian that was on the Guardians?
Yeah, like, do you ever think that they're gonna like connect, like, because like what happened in Mars, and, like, do you think that was the reason why they attacked them, the humans, or?
No, but they will explain. Okay. that is something that does get explained, but
I love the show because it's almost like a reverse DC universe, like in a way, like in sometimes the Marvel universe, I guess in comics in general, but like you can see similarities, and like I don't know, like I feel like the Invincible storyline is what a Superman show could have been, like. Like,
yeah, it's very much, if you take like a Superman and a Spider-Man, smash them together, you kind of get Invincible.
Oh, that, and like like it shows it. Like, I would love to see a show, and like I know we've seen it before where Superman was young and teenager, but I think done in a light like this, a little less violent, I think the Superman, that type of Superman, could have been really good.
Yeah.
Versus the soap opera of the stuff.
But you need the soap opera stuff. It's comics.
I have too much soap opera
makes you like the characters or the drama.
Yeah, I mean, I think. Well, I mean, a little off the beaten path, but the Smallville stuff is just a little too much.
I mean, that's very much like mid 2000 CW. Like, yeah.
So bad, so bad. I couldn't get through that show. I think I stopped watching it after seasons.
I didn't watch all of it.
But like I think the Invincible storyline, like at least with the Grayson, like you can always see the parallels of the Superman story,
Yeah, like, it's very much inspired by like the big iconic characters like Superman and Spider-Man.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah,
I just can't wait to see exactly where it goes. Well, I know kind of where it's going. I know there's at least 2 bits coming up. I'm not entirely sure how they're going to handle that, but we'll see whereabouts they place them. I'm betting they're not going to be in the same order at all, because God knows nothing has been so far. Just like, hey, wait a minute.
Hey, one little question. Like, how? Like, there was a scene. I don't know, kind of weird and disturbing for me. It's like where Monster Girl was it felt like she was hitting on.
She was hitting on Rex. Yeah.
That was a little weird. I don't know. I was just looking. I was like, I know it's supposed to like kind of be that way, where it's kind of unnerving because of like the way she looks, but it was just like a little like, ooh, like
It's weird. It's like she's old enough for it, but she doesn't look like she is.
I mean, weird. It wasn't like, oh my God, because I don't know, maybe they're not gonna go that way, but like, I don't want to see. I don't want to see that. But like, I love the interaction with the new all the characters. I think they interact very well. I kind of love the show. I look forward to watching it. It's like one of my. I think it's like I went into the first couple episodes going, okay, I might not like this, but I'll try to enjoy it and open mind. But then I kind of like after the episode 2, I just kind of got drew into it. And
yeah, I'll say the story as a whole, I don't know anyone that doesn't like Invincible. Like the comic or the show, mainly the comic. Really, it's just like everyone I know that's read it loves it. It's just like there's definitely a reason. Like there's something about it that just draws you in. It's got a specific charm to it.
Yeah. I think it does a lot of things, like it does a lot of multitasking well. When it comes to like, like how how the storytelling, the characters, and like I think they do the like the violence and all that stuff. I don't want to say tastefully, but it does it to an extent where it's like it's not like gratuitous.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
It's gratuitous to a point, but like it's not like I don't know. Like there's some shows that you could watch. It's kind of like repulsive to watch. It's like I know that's what they're trying to tell me, that like it's supposed to be this way. It's supposed to make me feel this way, but like some shows don't. They pulled off a little too well, where it's like it's not like it makes me feel a little bit more uncomfortable than it's supposed to, make me feel.
Yeah.
This is like, maybe it's because of the it's animated that I know it's not like a physical human being, like but it, like it I think it does it really well, and it doesn't like overdo it either.
No. I think that's definitely one of the shows. Well, that's say like the comic and the show's biggest strength is it feels like a real world.
Yeah. Like
there's a lot of moving parts. There's bits happening all over the place. It's not just you're following one thing and that one thing only happens to this one person.
Yeah, it kind of does the whole like, what if superheroes were real trope.
Yeah.
Probably one of the best ways possible. Like
I think it's also one of the first, because this book's like 20 years old. At least the start of it is anyway. It's old.
Did not realize that. I thought it was like at least recently. It shows how in touch I am with like that.
Okay, let me look when this issue 1 came out.
Yeah.
Release date. Season 1. Damn it, Google. I know it came out in March. I want issue 1. Issue 1.
I was like 2010.
22nd of January 2003.
Oh. Whoa, that was way off.
This book crazy. Is old.
Yeah, I was.
Real old,
That's crazy because, like, I think about that and I'm like, I wasn't even in New York. When that happened.
It's weird to think like, that book is nearly as old as Ultimate Spider-Man.
Oh my god!
Like it's got a couple of years between, so you could still very well say like, yeah, there's no doubt taking a lot from Ultimate Spider-Man, but it's just like, nice. It definitely had that early 2000s. I'm gonna ride this like young adult.
I know you can't see it; it's not a visual podcast, but like 2 gray hairs just popped into my head after me hearing that was 2003. Yeah. Like just like I think about it, I'm like in 2003, I was nowhere near what I was doing right now, and like crazy, man. Like that, I literally thought it was like maybe 2010. That's far away from me.
I say it was 144 issues, and I think it ended not last year, the year, but 2019, I think.
At least it's not pulling the Kick-Ass. It hasn't finished the series, and it's already making a movie.
I was like, Kick-Ass will never finish.
That's a product of its time.
That's another thing with this. It's timeless. There's no like. Yes, they've obviously put a lot of modern day stuff in this, but it could be set virtually anywhere. Like even when it came out, you read that first issue, it's minus the technology they had back then, like how phones looked and stuff. It's timeless. It is absolutely timeless.
Well, I guess that's a testament to Robert Kirkman and how he can do it, right, and stuff.
Yeah. I tell a lie. Actually, issue 144 came out in 2018.
Wow. So it just recently ended.
3 years ago. 1920.
But it started in 2003 and it ended in 2000. That's crazy long.
Yeah.
That's like what almost. I'm not good at
15 years.
Jeez Louise, like decade and a half. Like that's crazy. Like
it's 20 years old in 2 years.
That's crazy.
And it's taken this long for it to like get something, which I think is a crime.
Well, I think that is just the testament of like how the comic book movies have come a long way. Like this should have been a movie or a TV show, but then I think it's better that it comes out where the technology and like you can do stuff. Like if it would have came out, do you think that if this came out years ago and the animation wasn't like, I don't know. I think the time.
I think now, like, especially for like live action, I think you could definitely do this live action now easily.
Yeah.
And animation, I think you probably could have done it back then. Like, you wouldn't have had a 45-minute episode, though. There's no way.
Well, I mean, like, I think more lines of like the storytelling. Do you think this stuff could have been like? I
don't think it would have been as beat for beat as it is. I think they definitely would have had a lot of changes to it.
So I think it might have been beneficial that it. I mean, as long as it came out, I think it's beneficial that it came out in a time where it's more socially acceptable to do all this stuff, you know, and like it's just that's usually how it is, you know. Like, you know, it took, and I'm using this as an example, not as like it's a good example, but like it took Watchmen years get into a movie, and like people forever were saying, "Oh, this will never come to film or TV."
Yeah, Watchmen was the the unadaptable.
Yeah,
the unadaptable book,
but not a good example, but it's an example. But like, you know, I think some properties kind of benefit that it when it comes out versus when it could have come out, you know, because like I think it wouldn't have been as big of a hit if it came out years and years ago, because the stuff that people love about the show probably couldn't have been in it, you know.
I was gonna say I could see it happening like the Scott Pilgrim time, like the early 2010s, but I think it would have gone the way of Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah,
get the he watched this movie in San Diego Comic Con for free, and then it's just gonna tank in cinemas.
I think the Scott Pilgrim thing is a good example. Like, if that would have came out, it's like all about timing. I liked Scott Pilgrim, but I understand why it didn't survive.
I adore that movie. I
love it.
Absolutely love that series. Brian Lee O'Malley's an absolute genius. He's done
But I mean, I think
this and the Scott Pilgrim would definitely benefit from coming out now.
I think the Scott Pilgrim thing, it's like it was a good attempt. It had a great, you know, director, great writing. The visual effects were great, but it's like the timing just wasn't there. You know, like people didn't understand. Maybe people just didn't understand what it was going for at the time. You know, but
definitely.
You know, like,
I know people that like friends at the time saw it and they were like, "That was weird," and I'm like, "It was amazing." What you talking
amazing, yeah. But like, those are the people that probably didn't read the book, or if they did,
these are filthy casuals. These are absolutely filthy casuals. They just saw a movie because they wanted to see a movie. Like,
and I think, and again, I'm not using these examples biased, but like, I think, you know, like the movies like Iron Man paved the way for all that stuff. You know, like it built up those types of movies, and even to an extent some of the DC stuff. You know, it built up a big fan base where it kind of made the audience more broader. So like stuff like this is more possible.
2008 was a really good year for this. Like, not.
Oh yeah, I mean, because
comic book.
Yeah, like up to that point, the best thing was Man Thing and like Howard the Duck and like and Batman '89. You know, but like nobody really got serious about it until 2008.
Yeah,
that's when everything kind of like shifted to like, well, we have these properties. Let's put some actual effort into making it instead of selling it to some Roger Corman, where he's just basically going to spend $5 on the budget and costuming and stuff like that.
And I'm praying. I said last week about it being live action, and someone in the comments was like, "It is getting live action." Well, no, was that Saga? It might have been Saga actually. I was like, I didn't hear about that. If this is getting live action, I desperately need it now.
I think we talked about the Saga thing. I think it's possible. It's just you have to find the right people to invest in it and believe in it and put it out the way the creators wanted it to be put out, or at least to where they can compromise. You know, like, because Saga's a beloved property. I think if you find the right company and the right distribution, I think it could work. It has to have a lot of. That's a big. I think, like we've talked about, I think it's a huge, like, I don't know. There's a lot of stuff in that movie that people are just gonna look at and go, I don't know what I'm looking at.
Oh yeah, it's definitely Saga needs the Invincible treatment. But it needs to keep all the fluff, because that book is solely sold on the fluff. and the soap opera stuff and the dynamics of everyone.
Yeah, it works. I'm 50-50 on whether I want it as a live action or anime. I think you have a better chance of making an animation than it does.
I'll say I think live action would be weird. I'm not entirely sure you could.
I think it'd be weird, but in a good way. I think I would love to see how they could do stuff like that. Like in a world
I think its biggest problem would be budget. That movie would need 200 million, or a show would need the biggest budget you could possibly get.
I think if the Sandman thing works out, I think it brings it a little bit more closer to.
True. Yeah.
Because like the Sandman stuff is going to be, I mean, if they adapt any of at least anything but half of that series, they're going to need a budget. It's some crazy visuals. And like if they can pull off a show like that, I think Saga has a more of a chance. Because it's like, but the only thing that I think Saga has a negative against is like it's so niche and so culty.
Oh, yeah.
Like it almost has to be like whatever company puts it out must have like a very good made a lot of money with other properties. And just say, all right, this is just a bonus,
So you need that Blumhouse situation for Saga. It's like, right, we've had 5 good movies, we can take a chance.
Yeah,
I think
they
take a chance on that.
Yeah, I think
the nigh on porn that is Saga.
That's Image, right?
What, Saga?
Or is it Saga, yeah.
Yeah, Saga's Image. Yeah, it came out in 2012, nearly 10 years old.
It's like I messed on name right, but Image is owned by DC, right? Or
no, that's Vertigo. You're thinking Vertigo.
Yeah, I don't know. Or Wildstorm. Maybe I'm thinking Wildstorm. I think Image.
Image was what Jim Lee and what's its face, Wet Lip Nubbed. Can't think of his name. Rob Liefeld.
Oh yeah.
They were
weirdo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another like if like the Invincible live action movie succeeds, I think that's another good push for the Saga thing to happen.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I think Amazon doesn't have the problem with the budget or money. I mean, they're pretty much like their bank account's pretty fluff. I think if they just have to, I think it all comes down to like compromise. That if both parties compromise and say, hey, you can keep this, but if you can take this out.
Mm-hmm.
But it has.
I think with Saga as well, it needs to finish first.
Yeah,
that too. They've taken like a 2-year hiatus, and they left us on the worst cliffhanger you could put. I have PTSD of that book. I'm actually salty about it. But
yeah. I think it would. Yeah, you're right. I think it'd be beneficial if the series actually ended, and you probably have to wait at least a couple years after.
Yeah.
Like before.
I'm fine with waiting. I've waited 9 years as it is. For someone to
who knows?
acknowledge Saga as a studio, but if I would happily wait for it to end and then they do it properly.
I mean, who knows? You'll be sitting here in the movie theater at 50 years old and go Saga. The title card of Saga comes up, and like you'd be like, okay.
I mean, as long as the kids ain't smacking it behind me, because that thing is porn. No, that's fine.
That's
totally fine. No.
Yeah,
I never know. Just beam it into my brain. It's fine. It's fine.
It's got a charm.
It's such a good book. So
I would love to see what the visuals look like. Like the visuals, like the guy with the TV. It's like all this stuff is so. I almost.
It's abstract. It's very abstract.
I almost would like to see if David Lynch would do something, because like he is the king of of that type of. I don't know. I'm sure people have a different feeling on that, but like
I don't even know who I'd want to do Saga, but to get back to Invincible, I
think we trailed off a little.
It's gonna happen every time because it's an Image book. It's just seeing this finally get some love. It's just like I need other things from Image to get some love. Like Sex Criminals was finished. Do that, please. I'll keep saying it every week. I know it's
I mean, again, Amazon, come on, like take a chance.
I need everyone to watch Invincible, to hype it up, get everyone you can get at least 2 people to watch this as well. Fantastic, it's sorted.
I think if we can get Zack Snyder to come back and make a whole different Justice League, I think we can,
So Snyder would be a decent choice for Invincible. I think if you just, I think you just mandate the color in there, then you'd be fine. I think you do.
I don't think it's a bad choice. I think you need to rein him in though a little bit. Like you can't have
a little bit, yeah. But I think like there's, yeah.
I think he would fit the.
I tell you what, his ending to his whole Omni-Man kills the Guardian scene would be insane.
Oh yeah.
Insane.
I think it would be.
I'd love that.
Everything would be in slow motion. You'd see eyeballs floating for like at least 3 minutes. I mean, look. I mean, if I wish. I mean, not to get off on the tangent, but like I think the problem with him is that he's stuck in that same old aesthetic of making films, and like he as much crap as I throw at Michael Bay, he has taken a chance with a couple of movies, and it didn't pan out all the time, but like he did kind of break out of his specific mold, and I think Zack Snyder could benefit from that.
I think Snyder is trying to do that with that zombie movie on Netflix. Because that does not look like a Snyder movie in the slightest.
No, he looks like a PSW Anderson movie.
Yeah. I mean, I suppose, yeah.
Sorry.
It doesn't look.
It looks like a Resident Evil. I don't know. I'm not tagging on it. I haven't seen it, so but no, I think he would be a good choice for Invincible live action if they could kind of rein him in a little bit and say, hey, we need to get this across. Like if there's like. I feel like if he compromises and like he like doesn't want to change,
I think the only thing you would need is someone to write the script.
Yeah.
I think that's all you need with Snyder. You get him to follow the script and it'll be fine. But there's one bit I wasn't sure if I couldn't remember if it was actually in there or not. A bit like the mummy scene at the start, but them exercising. I can't remember his name. The demon detective.
Oh, Damien Dark.
That's the one, yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's the guy I wanted to talk about too.
I can't remember if that happened. Just like what?
I love that character too. Like it reminds me of the Demon and Hellboy rolled in like one.
Yeah.
And like it's interesting what they do. Send him back to hell. Because
he's still alive. It's just like, isn't this worse?
Yeah. And it's all. I can't figure out why they did it.
No, because here's the thing. This is completely brand new. Because the way I assume they're gonna do the big reveal to everyone. Like we all know it's coming. The world's got to find out that this thing's a thing.
Omni-Man.
Like Cecil doesn't know, but
does he?
In the books, he doesn't know.
Oh, in the books,
he's not suspicious whatsoever. He does not know. It comes as a shock to literally everyone.
Really, I honestly, the way they depict the character, it seems like he would know more than. I don't know. Maybe I'm just projecting.
Because I'm not. I don't think in the books Omni-Man was there. I don't think they found him there with the rest of them. I think that was different in this as well. Because it was literally kind of like a 3-panel thing of bang, 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 they're dead, he's gone. And
like a ghost or shadow or something like that.
Yeah, and like then you find out and all that stuff. It's just like, whoa.
Yeah.
But yeah, this whole like he kind of knows and he's trying to get Damien off the scent or like not dive into it because
but
we've had the funeral for them, haven't we? For the Guardians. Yeah, like
my question,
like Damien kind of clocks it there.
Yeah. Well, my question is like, why in the show? Why is Cecil trying to throw him off? Like, isn't the plan?
Don't know.
That's that's the thing that like, and I'm sure that they'll explain it. It just kind of was jarring. It's like the whole time, the whole 3 episodes, it seems like Cecil was like gun ho on finding the killer, regardless of how it's done, and like you got a character that figured it out, and then like they just kind of make him disappear. for, you know,
Yeah,
because he did
it's definitely a twist on all that. So I'm interested to see how they handle everything with. But it's just there's one bit coming. I'm not going to even spoil it or trying to hint, but what's coming up is definitely a bit of like a sort of a moment, like kind of like how the episode 1 ended. It's a bit
okay.
It's not similar to it, but you get what I mean when it happens. I'm really trying to spoil anything because it's the twist this thing takes. It's crazy. It definitely needs to be
in the books, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm definitely, I'm on board with the show, and I'm gonna take the train all the way to the end, for sure. I'm not like I don't think I've in like the 4 episodes that have been there on, I haven't been one time going like changing like midway changing my mind about how I look at the show. I'm like I'm pretty consistent. I'm like I'm interested to see where this goes. I'm on board.
Yeah, the only wave that I've had is when he was going to Mars, and I'm like, they're gonna just glance over this. They did slightly, but they had all the important bits down. Like, you know what? Fine, fine.
As long as they have the sandwich part,
Yeah, as long as the sandwich is there, as long as the sequins and all that bit are there, because they come up later on.
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting choice to kind of like condense those like important parts down to like a very few. But it's like I'm pretty sure it's intentional.
Yeah. I can imagine it's either a case of get as much in as you can in season 1, or it's you have 3 seasons fit this all in sort of situation.
I hope it's the latter. To be honest with you, I don't want someone cramming everything in just because they think there's not a next season. Because then they get to season. Oh dang, we just went through the whole first arc in like one season, like that's happened so many times in so many shows. It's like I always say just put in what you need, and like let it be judged, and let it live and die out by its own merits, and like if it doesn't get a second season, then like it doesn't get a second season, but like don't create a problem when there's not a problem.
I just hope that they eventually let things breathe a little bit.
Well, I mean, how many more episodes is there?
There's 8, so we're halfway through.
Okay, so I think they got time to kind of like take I mean, hopefully like at least one episode is not like jam packed with the stuff, like where you're, like it just kind of, like you said, kind of let it breathe, and like at least one episode. I think you'll overexhaust the fan. The people that are watching, if you just continuously punch them in the face, I wouldn't mind it.
Are you gonna say sorry?
I was gonna say I wouldn't mind an episode where it's just like personal life,
I say I'm really here for a downtime episode. Just chill. I think we're gonna get it. I'm in 2 minds. We're either gonna end on on the cliffhanger I'm thinking we're gonna end off on, which would make a lot of sense, or we're gonna get that next week or something, and then we're gonna get a bit of a downtime, and then it's gonna ramp back up again. I'm 50-50 on how it's gonna go.
Yeah, I mean, I'm down. I'm watching it. I'm committed to season 1, to see how this ends.
I say I'm in it. I'm here from start to finish, however long that is.
I'm always the case where I give it at least a season. If it doesn't get me, because you can be having a great whole first half of the season, and like that's just last episode. If it doesn't land, then you're like, I don't know if I want to see it. But like,
I would say right now, as long as if they keep going as they're going, it's gonna be a solid plateau. Like, I don't think any episode's gone up or down so far for this first half. It's just been like it's just started good and it's just carried on going. It could very well go. If anything, it's going to go up. I don't see anything going down with this at the minute.
I have a pretty low expectations when it comes to like if you can catch me at at least catch because I did it with Watchmen. I gave it that first season. That first season was fantastic. But if you give me at least what I want, in a way, I'm good. I'll be back for second season.
Pretty
easy.
There's very little in this story to not like. Like it's consistently there. So they're doing it justice for the most part of the minute. So I got faith they're gonna stick everything.
At this point I have zero to little complaints. Like everything that that I have is a nitpick. And I'm not gonna list the nitpicks. Because it's just pointless.
Yeah. I say again, my only thing is not letting the things breathe, and it's even moving stuff around is fine. It's just slightly jarring, but it's not taking away from anything. It's just purely just slow down a little bit, let things settle in.
Yeah. I don't think that's a nitpick. I think that's just solid. Like telling a story. It's like you can't have action. Yeah. You had to have some kind of like room to breathe, and kind of soak it in,
Which I'm pretty certain that they're gonna have to. I'm pretty certain they're gonna have to, but
we'll see. I'm down we'll see. Regardless.
Just like next week, we'll see how much blood is on the title card for Invincible, because every episode is getting more and more. Yeah. It's just constantly splatting on there. So that'll be us for this week. So tune in next week for episode 5. I've got no idea exactly where they're going to go with it, because